Hello, Balance Bosses. I'm so thrilled to be here today with one of the brightest shining stars in the dental world, Vanessa Emerson, founder of the Dental Speaker Institute and the Dental Speaker. Welcome, Vanessa. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Laura. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Fantastic. And so I'm just going to highlight a little bit of who you are and what you've done, but I'd love to hear your path into it. And if anybody watching would like to ask questions during, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. We will see them. So Vanessa, you are basically a mentor to dental professionals who want to develop their business and learn how to market themselves in the dental speaking consulting world. And you are a expert network connector. You connect dental professionals who want to speak and consult with speaker event organizers and corporate partners. And you bring this all together in a system. And you do this so well that you were named one of the top 25 women in dentistry by Dental Products Report in 2017. And I would highly agree with that, definitely. And you're just the go-to resource for anyone that wants to get into this business and really needs a plan and a path. So thank you for all you do, because it is kind of foreign territory for a lot of people when they first start. And so I'd love to hear how this evolved for you.
Is the right word kismet? That's what just came to mind. Is it like it was synchro destiny? Honestly, I really believe that. I had worked in general surgery for many years as an office manager. I don't know if I've ever told you that, Laura. And my doctor retired for the second time. He was in his 70s. And so I was pretty sure he wasn't going to come back to work again. His wife wanted him at home. So I was looking for a job, and this was over 20 years ago, back in the day when we looked for jobs with the newspaper. And I ran across an ad for an office manager for a dental speaker and consultant. And I really didn't know what that meant. But I'm like, well, it's in the same city I was in. I thought, well, it can't be that far off, right, from surgery. So that's where I applied, and that's where I met Catherine Eitel-Belt. Which probably many of your listeners, I imagine, know Catherine and her. She's well known for her Linus Principle. Lionspeak.net is her website. But so I worked with Catherine for 12 years, and over that time, about 4 or 5 years in, we were finding success with helping her be able to market herself and get more speeches, and be able to connect her with more consulting clients. And much of that is because she's amazing. I'm not trying to take any kind of credit on that, as much as we just had to figure out, how do you build this business, and how do you get more clients, and how do you become noticed, especially when you have talent and you have a message to share, as she did. So some of her colleagues started asking, well, what are you guys doing? And so Catherine asked if I'd mind sitting with them on the phone, way before Zoom, right? We'd hop on the phone and talk about how do we create their speaker materials, and what are some of the things we're doing. And they all encouraged me, including Catherine, to start a little side business, which I did 15 years ago on creating speaker marketing materials, and it's just grown from there.
Wow. Isn't that something? So it evolved very organically. It was not anything that you really had a plan. It was just something that you were good at, and encouraged then to share your talent with the world.
I laugh because I remember sitting at my desk going, what did I get myself into? I had no idea. I really, truly had no idea. Like many speakers, as they get started, they have no idea, like, how do I get the meeting planner to pay attention to me? How do I find consulting clients? I wasn't even sure why they would want to hire Catherine. I mean, I really didn't know. I think a lot of speakers and consultants, as they get started, they know they have something they want to share. They feel really pulled toward it. They're drawn to share it, but they run up against a wall of like, how do I get that exposure in the right way without, being too strong and putting people off, or like being too quiet and just blending into the wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yes.
Oh my gosh. And so through the years, basically you've developed, a strategic plan and a path for someone that is interested. And tell us a little bit about that, the business of dental speaking and consulting. How does that?
Yeah.
We have a comment. Hi, Fave Dues.
Oh, thank you for those comments. So, I work with speakers at all stages of their career. So those that are maybe an office manager or a doctor or somebody who's working in the practice now who hasn't started, but they think they might want to get started, or people who have been speaking for 30 years and maybe want to reinvent themselves, change up their brand, or like change up their topics, or just get noticed again. Maybe they've started to kind of blend into the wallpaper as well over a while. So it's not just new speakers, it's speakers at all stages of their career. And I think the term speaking and consulting, people tend to think and they are different, but here's an important distinction that many don't, many who are wanting to just start a business around speaking don't fully recognize until they get into it. But speaking is actually a marketing activity. And I think that is so important. You've heard me say that before, Laura, but and here's why I point that out is there's different models for speaking in our industry. There might be the dental professional who is asked to create a course about, insurance billing or OSHA. Well, OSHA's a big one. Let's not grab that. Not that insurance billing isn't, but like it's basically sharing the knowledge you have. So maybe it's a scheduling, or it's maybe, case acceptance or something. So maybe your local ADOM chapters ask you to present, and you pull something together and you think, oh, I love that. I'd like to do it again. That's like putting your toe in the pool. And once you put your toe in that water, you might decide, I think I want to build out a side business. And what I'm trying to say, and I'm sorry I'm not been very succinct, is that there's two different models. There's we're speaking because we were asked to speak, and so we create something, and we're not really trying to build a business. Mm-hmm. Or there's we're building a business. And so in that regard, and that's where I'd like to focus my comments, is that if you're wanting to create a business out of this, mm-hmm. then you really want to start with the end in mind, and you want to start with being sure you are clear about your life vision. So where you're driving the bus, you will want to create a strategic action plan that you were just mentioning for your specific business. And then we get to what are the topics you speak about, because ultimately when you're out there in the industry as a speaker, sharing this knowledge you have, you're seen as an influencer, as an expert, and that's one of the best ways to be able to attract consulting clients. So I pulled a couple things into that answer, but basically what's most important there is that there's two different models, and you'll have to decide at some point, do I just, and I don't mean in a way of diminishing it, but more like putting a parameter around it. Do I just want to speak when I'm asked because I really like it? I think it's a whole lot of fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And there are definitely people who are doing that in our industry now who are excited and passionate and skilled in an area. And so they'll be asked to speak, but they're not really trying to build it out into a separate business. And I think that's really important to delineate for yourself. Am I serious about this? Mm-hmm. Do I want to make a business out of it?
Mm-hmm. And so I got. Do you hear that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I'm echoing on my end. Better? Oh, it's better now. Oh, great.
I didn't ever hear it.
Oh. So basically, if somebody wants to get into this as a business, or maybe they're already in it, and obviously things have changed, especially in the last 18 months to 2 years, what we've gone through, you can take them from, oh my gosh, how do I do this, to having a path and a plan. And I love how you say it starts with the end in mind.
Yeah.
And probably because you have created this over how many years, you have seen many end in minds come to fruition. So you can help people kind of get through some of those hurdles and maybe even avoid some of them by creating this plan.
For sure. And I think part of the strategic plan is it's not a business plan that you would take to the bank to get a loan and put on a shelf and never look at again. It's really more of a working document. It's really more about defining, okay, if this is going to be a business, how am I going to make my money? What would I call those profit centers? Would it be like speaking is a profit center, consulting is a profit center, and maybe you'll have online education as another profit center. So I keep trying to find my camera. And then within that profit center, you might have different revenue streams, different ways that you make money as a consultant or as a speaker. So it's getting clear about the structure of the business, and then you'll want to work backwards from there into tasks and projects and due dates and like make sense of it so that you have your ducks in a row. You have your path where this, then this, then this. Of course, marketing plays a big part in there as well. But many times speakers want to start with their topic, and many times they want to start with their title. And it is so, that feels to me like backwards. I think it really starts with why are you doing this? Was it Simon Sinek, the start with why? And but really, why are you? Because it takes time, energy, an investment of resources to really create any business, and this is no different. And so before we make that commitment, if we know that, well, I'm doing this, well, some of the typical reasons that people will build out this business is because they want to move on out of clinical dentistry at some point. Or they want to be able to stay in dentistry, but they also want to have a side gig that maybe eventually when they want to retire from dentistry, they'll make bigger, so they have that plan in mind. And I think that's super, super important. And then your strategic action plan helps you put those pieces.
That's nice. And I love how you bring in the life vision, as that's really the starting point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can really create then something that fits your life and feels good to you.
Yes. And the beauty of it as an entrepreneur, you're able to create the business you want and to be able to carve out the time you want so that you don't have to wait. We were just talking about this before we hopped on. You don't have to wait till you're 80 or 90 to take the trip or do whatever it is that you're wanting to do with your life vision. As an entrepreneur, it does give you the freedom to be able to do some of those things now and be able to enjoy and have the bliss now. And that really appeals to me. I think that appeals to people who are entrepreneurs at heart.
Yeah. Well, let's swing into then one of the premier events, which we will bring up here, which is your JUMPSTART conference, which is always held in January in Phoenix, which is a great place to go in January.
Yeah.
But tell us how JUMPSTART started, what JUMPSTART is, and if somebody is a speaker consultant or interested in this or wanting to network, why would they come to JUMPSTART?
Well, JUMPSTART, again, just kind of unfolded naturally. Our first JUMPSTART, we had 7 speaker development experts that we came together in the fall of 2017 and launched in 2018 this 2-day workshop just because it sounded like it would be a good idea. And as it unfolded, what I realized was that there was a real opportunity to do something important for our industry. And my vision with JUMPSTART, now JUMPSTART is really the annual meeting for Dental Speaker Institute. And this is probably something we're going to talk about in a minute. Is it okay if I chat about that for a moment?
Yes.
So it's Dental Speaker Institute. You can learn more at dentalspeakerinstitute.com. It ultimately is a fellowship program. That's really, that's it. It's a really amazing fellowship program, but I mean, it's really all about educating speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 300-hour over 5-year curriculum. It's a rigorous, and so it's a fellowship program. So back to JUMPSTART. JUMPSTART is our annual session for that organization. So each year we bring in meeting planners and corporate partners, as well as speakers, and most of our speakers are also consultants. Interestingly, in the past, when we've done a survey, about 3/4 of our attendees, 2/3 to 3/4, are clinicians, doctors, hygienists, people who are actively practicing clinical dentistry. And then we have a smaller portion that's more on the business side, I just find that interesting that we have attracted so many that are on the clinical side. Mm-hmm. And my vision for JUMPSTART ultimately would be to have a dental meetings professionals gathering. So for instance, this coming year is our 5th anniversary. It is always the second weekend of January. And thank you for the dates are up there. It's always the second weekend. And so this year we will have our anniversary fun party, our first night, but also that first day we're going to have a State of the Industry forum where everyone who's at the conference will come into the ballroom together, planners, sponsors, and other corporate members, and of course speakers. Everyone will be there together. We'll have a facilitated forum where we talk about where have we been, where do we want to go, why do we do things the way we do, why is this way, and why is that way, and be able to have all the people who are involved in the industry, of course not all of them, but like all of those sectors represented. I think is really powerful. We did something like this on a smaller scale 2 years ago before COVID, and that was a really powerful session, and that some of those who were there are still talking about. So it's little. It's a lot of things. We have the opportunity to shape our industry as meetings professionals, and I think that's big. And then there's the collaboration and the networking. Like I know you've met people there that you've collaborated with. I'm sure some that have been on this podcast. And there's a real spirit of rooting for each other and helping each other grow, and just coming together and expanding our footprints while we're helping to try to transform teams and ultimately patients' lives. There's just a real sense of, I think, love in the room and collaboration. It's just a very special, it's one of those things that you can't quite get your head around it till you're there. Would you agree? It's kind of like you have to experience it.
Yes, 100%. I think that it's one of the most loved-filled events I've ever been to, period.
Yeah. Thank you. I think so too, and that's not. What I'm saying is like the people that are attracted to it bring that, right? Like, so I'm planning the speakers and I'm planning the food and I'm planning the meeting, and I can take a little credit for like the vision, but ultimately it's more around, we have 20 faculty members with our fellowship that are there and supporting and helping us with education and bring their hearts and their love of speakers and our meetings industry, and then the people who come to learn. I mean, it just is really a special event. I'd be happy to talk to anybody if they have questions about it, if they haven't been there. Are we still having problems with your audio?
I am. It's better, I think, now. It comes and goes. Is it okay?
Is it my microphone, do you think?
No, it just comes and goes, but sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But we are offering a special early bird rate for our meeting, which is on the website. If you visit dentalspeakerinstitute.com, you can learn more about JUMPSTART, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody and help them see if they feel like it might be a fit for them as a planner, a sponsor, sponsoring partner. I shouldn't even say that because we have sponsors, a corporate member, or a as a speaker and consultant. Which for speakers too, one other real quick thing before we move on, we do offer a speaker showcase every day where our planners are going to go off to a separate room to hear these 10-minute presentations. And then those who are delivering the showcase will have a private lunch with our meeting planners, which is pretty fun.
That's pretty cool.
So you need to be a registered member in order to apply, but we're going to be rolling that out very quickly for first come, first serve to sign up for that opportunity.
That sounds wonderful. And that's something as a dentist going to meetings, going to events, I had no idea the intricacies that were involved, like the different people, the different groups that put a meeting together. And I think JUMPSTART was the first introduction to me of all the people that come together to put a meeting together. And how we work together to, like you said, shape, create the meeting. And JUMPSTART is just an excellent opportunity to learn about what other people do, how other people can contribute, and like you said, network, develop collaborations, learn. I learned so much from the different programs, speeches, and so it was just very all-encompassing. I would highly encourage anyone to go to JUMPSTART. You will not be disappointed. It'll be fun. You'll take away a ton of new friends, and maybe even get closer with old friends and have ideas and collaborations just coming out of your ears. So
thank you. We didn't even really mention the education because I get so excited about the fun, right, and all the networking. But ultimately, it's just jam packed full of speaker development education, and we're also building out a program with opportunities for our corporate members who have different needs, as well as our meeting planners. So we're going to have educational sessions for them as well. And as JUMPSTART continues to grow, we will be able to educate all three of those groups.
That's fantastic. Wonderful. And you get to go to Arizona in January. So
right? Like we ate outside even in January. Yeah. It was so fun. Yeah. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, well, we touched on it a little bit, but you are the founder of the Dental Speaker Institute. And for somebody that may not know what that is, can you just explain a little bit of what that is, how you become a member, and how what's its role in this industry?
Sure. So to become a member, you go to JUMPSTART. It's rolled into your JUMPSTART registration. I don't have actually another way to sign up to become a member. I hadn't really thought about it till just now because that's how everybody's coming through that front door. So the Dental Speaker Institute is this fellowship program. When you visit dentalspeakerinstitute.com, the very first tab is fellowship, which I love seeing the comments. Thank you for that.
Isn't that nice?
So the very first tab at dentalspeakerinstitute.com will explain more about the fellowship program. Ultimately, it's a 5-year program to work through 300 hours of education. And you're involved as a fellowship candidate, Laura. And so maybe you could even speak to the quality of the education. We break it down into content development, presentation skills, and the business of speaking. There is also a component of a history of speaking. We need to know before the fellowship is awarded that someone's hireable, right? Like they've got their materials together, they've got their presentations together, they're ready to present, and they're being hired. So there's a small, it's not the same as National Speakers Association's CSP, which is based largely on your past history of speaking, but there is a small component of that as well. But all the details and all the paperwork and everything is available on that page on dentalspeakerinstitute.com, the fellowship page, and it will walk through all the details. Again, it's the kind of thing that's pretty detailed. I'd be happy to talk with anyone. We could set aside some time and see if it's a good fit for them. The individuals that are in the program now are those that see a value in having that professional designation, as well as all of the education. I mean, there's amazing programs. So what have you thought of your programs?
I have been blown away, and I remember looking at the list of options of the different programs that we could take, and I thought, I want to take every single one of these.
I know.
So why would I not be a part of the fellowship? And I can't say enough about every program I've taken has been extremely high quality. And not only that, but then again, making connections, meeting new people, learning from others how they do things. It's invaluable. It's invaluable. So again, yes. And you're so good about guiding and helping through this process, as a basically as a coach, coaching you through it. So yes, I would encourage anyone to reach out to Vanessa if you're interested. She is a wealth of information and can guide you if it's the good decision for you. So yeah.
Thank you. And the speaker development experts that are teaching this, all of these courses, they're like the best out there, seriously. So we feel really honored that they want to play in our sandbox with us, right?
Yes. And, all of them, again, and I think that because, and I say this, but you are one of the most heart-centered servers in our industry, and so you have created a wealth of people that are just like you. Everyone that I have come across that you have introduced me to, or I have come through DSI, has been super kind and super helpful, and just like, a big family. It's wonderful. It's really good to see. So thank you for doing that.
I feel really lucky. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right. So speaking of Sandbox and life vision, tell us a little bit of what your life vision, what your passion is. And I know it has something to do with sandboxes.
Or litter boxes.
There you go.
So what I'm most, I love my husband. I love my kids. I feel like I should say that first. I very much love my family. I'm also very much a cat activist and advocate here in the Phoenix area, and have been for over 10 years now, involved with, we have a lot of felines that just are stray, that are community cats. It's an issue here like it would be in Texas or Florida or Hawaii, all these other warm states, California. And so I'm really passionate about making a difference with animals, not just with the cats in the rescue and the sanctuary that we have. We currently have 4 8-week-old kittens downstairs right now. And luckily they've been very quiet. I worried if I was going to have to say, hold on, let me save someone, because they were up too high, couldn't get down. But not, I'm passionate not only about helping cats, but also about living a cruelty-free existence and animals, just in general. And so that's shaped some of the choices I've made on my day-to-day products I utilize, foods I consume, that sort of thing, because it's important to me. We all have different passions, right? Like someone might be excited about football and want season tickets to their local football team, and I think that's awesome. I don't spend money on football tickets or boats. I buy litter. Litter and food.
Oh, well, and to have 4 kittens in your house at the same time has to be extremely joyful.
It is. We're spay and neuter next week, and most of them are going off to adoption at that point.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, well, and then that leads me to, you make some choices as far as your diet, and you told me that I should ask you if you've had your spirulina and chlorella tabs today.
I don't remember telling you that, but yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I want to say thank you, Laura, because you've been a big inspiration to me around that. I had tried to alter my diet a couple of years ago and did not know what to do, how to do it well, and ended up with some health issues. I had pernicious anemia is what they told me, which I don't even really remember what that is exactly, but I was deficient in some vitamins, and it was because I was just eating a lot of salads and, for raw stuff, but I wasn't getting enough of a variety. And so with, like, for instance, with your coaching and your vegan workshop has been so helpful to me. It's opened up just the world to how to be able to eat this way every day. Even when I travel, I'll know how to go and get the right foods and be able to find vegan restaurants. And there's what I found, and not that, I mean, this is my own personal choice, right? Like it's yours. Like I want to live a more plant-based existence. I'm not judgmental about people who eat meat. I think it's a choice you have to make on your own. And I'm not wanting to push this on anyone. It's been the right choice for me. I've lost weight. I feel better. People tell me that my skin looks better. It's like things that I didn't notice, but like I get that comment a lot. Like they're like, "Oh, you look so healthy," or "You look so rested," and I'm like, "I've got kittens. I'm not rested." But I feel better, and it's little hacks like the algae tabs you told me about, and some of the Just Egg, and some of the things that you've shared with me. So thank you. You've been a big influence in my life that way, and I just really appreciate it.
Yes. Well, and it's fun to see your life vision expand and because you're so big on life vision, and I know the cats are a big part of your life and your family, like you said.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they help with that too. They love it and help with it too. So it's nice to see that you are walking the walk that you help other people create. You are really.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so
I think you burn out, right? You can work so hard, especially as an entrepreneur, you can work all the time. And if you don't find ways to get what you're passionate about into your everyday, I mean, it's about balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Balance, boss lady.
Yes.
This is really about balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that leads me to, if somebody is curious about how you can help them. I know that you have some programs, like, for instance, Transform My Business,
Yes.
which is one of the ones that I took, which blew me away. But talk to us a little bit about how someone can dip their toes into your world, so to speak, and start finding out about how you can help them.
Sure. So I think an important distinction between the programs I offer and like all of these other faculty members or other speaker development coaches out there is that I'm not training people how to be a better speaker. I'm helping them on the business side. So like the back end of not out on the stage, or how to write that content or deliver a joke or that sort of thing. But I'm really more about, how do I make money? How do I get clients? How do I market the business? How do I make this whole thing work? So I wrote a book, So You Think You Want to Speak in Dentistry, that I'd be happy to share a PDF. It's available. If you want the paper version, it's available on Amazon. Or you can email me, info@thedentalspeaker.com, and just put ebook in the subject line. I'd be happy to send you a complimentary version of it. That gives you it's like 50 or 60 pages. It's a real quick read, but it gives you the high level view of what it takes for the business side. I engage with speakers in multiple ways. We'll do one-on-one coaching. I have different offerings there, the one session or, a dozen. We have some new coaching programs in the way that would be more of a group educational model that will be coming as and available soon to all speakers. We offer workshops frequently. So as you mentioned, Transform My Business. You can learn more about that at ultimatebusinessintensive.com. ultimatebusinessintensive.com. The next one is August 13 and 14, and there's one in November, the week of Thanksgiving, Monday and Tuesday that week. It's normally Friday, Saturday. It's a 2-day, 12-hour workshop. It's broken down into 4 3-hour segments. So it's 3-hour morning, 2-hour lunch, 3-hour afternoon. So it is virtual. So it's 12 hours, and you might be like, oh my gosh, 12 hours on Zoom, but it goes really quickly. It's very much a workshop. You're working, you're making a lot of notes, you're asking questions. It's very interactive. And basically we walk you through here's what it takes to be able to move this forward, and give you a lot of tips and strategies, and how to set your honorarium and get sponsors, and what do you need to market, why. We walk you through the strategic action plan, and throughout those 2 days you create your plan, you get it started. Did you find that helpful?
It was incredibly helpful, and I know that I will be taking it again, because as you move through this process, there's things that you do in the beginning, and you talk about that during the workshop. And so definitely what I love too about the workshop is you are creating during the workshop your plan. And so, but then you maybe get to the middle spot now, and I'm like, oh, I need to retake and go back and revisit those topics. And
because it's a lot of information.
So it really is for anybody. It's for somebody who's just starting. It's somebody in the middle. It's somebody who maybe wants to reinvent, that's been in it for a while.
Yes.
Because there's something for everyone, and then you can retake it, and I definitely will.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I've only been offering this now just a little over a year. We've done 10 of them since last May. And so we're starting to have people come back repeat. And because it's a broad spectrum, right? It's like we cover a whole lot. There are a couple of other workshops that are higher level that bounce off of Transform My Business, where Transform My Business is the prereq. And then we just did last week, Take Control of Your Business Destiny is really about how to create your own workshop, event, conference, symposium, study club, summit, whatever it is you want to create, where you're self-sponsoring. We walk through and you end up with a draft. You pick your topic. You probably know your topic when you come in, but you write up your draft for your marketing, choose like how the format, like the costs, get their refund and cancellation. It's like everything. It's so much fun.
Yes. And I love that distinction that you made, that you're not the person for, developing your speech or learning how to become a speaker, but there's all that stuff that we may not know about, and you are the go-to for that, the business side of it, the setting things up, the marketing, the planning, thank you, because otherwise I know I would be lost, as many other people that you have helped in the past are helping and will be helping. So
thank you. And can I just say thank you for your kind words. And no, I'm not that person that trains her presentation skills and content development, but I know those people.
yes.
And I just get the most joy out of connecting people. I really do. I don't know. I'm just wired that way. Like, I love if you tell me you need a certain thing and I can help you, like, if you meet someone, like if somebody wanted to do more podcasts or write more articles, or they wanted to, whatever it is they want to do, there's a good chance I'll know someone, or I know someone who knows someone, just because I've been in the industry for over 20 years. And to me, it gives me great joy to help connect people. So a shout out to our faculty, who are amazing dental speaker and development coaches. And thank you so much for having me today, Laura.
Oh, you're so welcome. And so before we wrap things up, I'd like to ask you just one question. It's something that I try and remember to ask all our guests, but you are a busy dental professional woman and creating your own business over the years. What is one thing that you would recommend to somebody else as a woman dental professional to lead a more balanced life?
Without hesitation, meditation. I heard David G. at Chopra Center years ago, say he recommended RPM, for meditation, rise. When you wake up in the morning, you rise, pee, meditate. RPM, rise, pee, meditate. But if you follow that, like, don't even turn on the light. But if you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you come back, you sit down before you start Facebook or feeding cats or whatever it is you do first thing in the morning, or go for your run or whatever, the first thing, set your tone for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And a very wise mentor told me recently, Victoria Peterson, shout out to the amazing Victoria Peterson, about this idea of setting our intention for the day. But in our, like she suggested, I write it. I don't write it. I after my meditation, I go through. Today, I'm going to meet with, this morning, Bhakti, our web designer, which I've done, and then I'm going to meet with Laura, and we're going to do a Facebook Live, and then I'm going to, so I go through my day, and then I hand off the rest. I get goosebumps thinking about it. Whether you call it God, source, universe, whatever you call it, hand off the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do that, miracles happen. Miracles happen. So I think if that can help anyone, just try it. Give it a couple days and watch. When you don't have time to do all that other stuff, let God handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And it will happen.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
It's truth.
Thank you.
Thank you to Victoria for reminding me about that truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you had Victoria on?
I have not. I need to. Wow. Yes. So RPM. I love it. I'll never forget that.
I know, isn't that fun?
Oh, wonderful. Well, and as we end up here today, anything else that you want to share about all your goodness, how people can find you? I have your website, basically thedentalspeaker.com should cover and get you anywhere you need to explore with Vanessa. Is that correct?
That's correct. All the websites, there's multiple websites and they're all linked through there.
Mm-hmm.
I love to have, my favorite thing to do is have conversations one-on-one with speakers who want to grow. Mm-hmm. They know they want to grow the business. They're looking for answers. Just shoot me an email, info@thedentalspeaker.com, and I will be happy to send you a link to my calendar. Just let me know what you're looking for. You know, what your question is, or what you think you might need, if it's urgent or if it can wait, a week or two for us to work it into the schedule. But I would be happy to speak with anyone, anytime. I honestly love those conversations. I'd be happy to give you 30 minutes.
Excellent. Oh, that's a wonderful offering. And I would say anyone, if you even just want to have a fantastic conversation, take Vanessa up on this. She's a wealth of knowledge. She's an ultimate connector. Just like she said, she loves connecting. So you will walk away from that 30 minutes with your cup very full and overflowing. So
thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I will make sure and get all of these links below in the comments, and they will also be in the show notes. So if anyone missed a link or missed any information, just check those out. And if you have any questions at all, right there is Vanessa's email. You can contact her and she can set something up for you or guide you in the right direction. So thank you so much for your time today, my dear.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So it was a pleasure, and I really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. And remember, balance bosses, you are the boss of your balance. So become the CEO and live a life. Remember RPM and your life vision. It's important stuff. So thank you so much. All right. We'll talk soon. Cheers.
Bye.